Okay, hello everyone. I'm Pascal from BHC, and this is
Valentin Boutiot. Hello.
From Proximus.
From Proximus Enco.
So today we're giving you this presentation together. It's a joint presentation which you should consider as an inspirational talk. So we're not coming here to present a finalized product, but we have a prototype and we want to give you ideas about using Internet of Things in Odoo and to give you food for thought. So I will start and then I will let Valentin talk about the Proximus activities, the Proximus services, and then we will dive into our live demo and discuss about that. So first of all, BHC, we are an Odoo partner, a gold partner. We've been working with Odoo for over 10 years, which means almost since the beginning of Odoo. And our history with Proximus dates back even further because we've started collaborating in 1999 on various projects. And now we're collaborating with Proximus Enco, which is a specific branch of Proximus. We've been appointed preferred partner of Proximus for integrating different services, different APIs that are provided, such as the SMS API, the address scoring and autocomplete API for Belgian addresses, and the Sensor as a Service API, which is the one we're going to discuss today. So Valentin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pascal. So thank you to introduce me. I'm Valentin Boutiot, so I'm community manager and evangelist at Proximus Enco. So my job is all about developers. I need to gather feedback, organize events, and bring, of course, support using our platform. So I suppose a lot of you know Proximus. It's the first Belgian telco, but maybe not a lot of you know Enco. So Enco is an internal startup, as you can see on the little drawing. We are a very small team, about 10 people, and what we do is building an API toolbox, exposing API in different sectors like IoT, telco, data, and cloud. Our API toolbox is a do-it-yourself, is in do-it-yourself mode. We have 3 tiers for all API, and it's a pay-as-you-use model. We also do co-creation ecosystem, but I will get back to that later. And it's designed for developers, but startup, ISV, enterprise, and software engineers. So what I can suggest you is to go to enco.io to see it by yourself. We have 2 big parts on Enco. One is the dev portal to fine-tune the API in function of your needs. But we also have the market. On the market, you can see the different API you can implement in your own code, like the Sensor as a Service that we will demonstrate, SMS, which is bidirectional, international, and you can configure short or long number. But we also have API like the address scoring, which is based on our 1207 and 1307 services to, for instance, autofill the billing information on your website, which is important for the user experience. And for every API, you also have the price plan really detailed to see where you're going. But we don't only do running this API toolbox. We also enable verticals and ecosystem. I don't know if you've heard about the project Nextport for the Port of Antwerp. It's a context where we bring a platform to expose API related to this specific context, but also some of our API, and we provide a market. You can click, and you will see, again, we could also do this for the whole Odoo ecosystem. But we don't do only that. We also do co-creation. For co-creation, we build solution, end-to-end solution for client-specific needs. And to do so, we don't do it only by ourselves. We have also a bunch of preferred partners, like BHC for the Odoo framework. And together, we find the solution needed by the client. So this is Proximus Enco. I will give you back the mic. And we go to the...
Thank you, Valentin. So now it's time to dive into our live demo. And we'll give you the full explanation afterwards. So just to set the context, what we have here, the strange thing on our table, is to symbolize a tank of fuel. So suppose you're a company which has different buildings with fuel tanks that you want to monitor in real time. We want to monitor the stock of the fuel tank, so the level of liquid. And when it gets under 20%, we would like to automatically resupply and fill up the tank, so to order a refill. So what we've done in our Odoo environment here, we've created our special module which displays the different devices that are connected to our Proximus Enco account. They're displayed here. Now we have one device that is recognized. I'll just reconnect to the Proximus service to make sure that the connection is okay. So we do this in the setup. And then here are the different devices. So if I go on this device, first of all, I can see its location, which is determined by triangulation. So it's an approximate location, but which is quite good. It's not GPS based. It's based on the LoRa network, and Valentin can explain a bit more. And then if I go to my sensors, I have one sensor now on this device, which is an ultrasound sensor mounted on the bottom of the cap here. So the ultrasound is used to evaluate the content of my container. So if I click on the sensor now, I have a value of 38%. It's a percentage. So that seems about right. Now my colleague will empty the tank so that we can see the value getting updated. So the data from the sensor can be automatically transmitted to the network on a certain frequency, and that depends on the pricing plan that you have with Proximus. In our case, we just have the free plan for demo purposes, which transmits every half hour, so that would not be enough for our demo. Therefore, there's a push button that allows to transmit the data. So now my colleague just pushed on the button, and I will also manually update the data in Odoo, but that can be, of course, automated in the same way. So now if I go on my sensor, I have 25%. So it keeps going down. I will ask for a new update. There we go. The data is being transmitted. I update my sensor again. And we're down to 18%. So now we're below the mark of 20%, and we should order a refill. So what we've done here in Odoo is we've associated our device with a product and a stock location. So the product is the fuel and the stock location is this tank. So if I go on my product now, I can see immediately that I have 180 liters of product on hand in this location, the tank number 1, and the full capacity of my tank is 1,000 liters. So we can immediately see that corresponds to 18% of the full content. I could have, of course, different stock locations if I have different tanks for this product. So now the rest of this is pure standard Odoo process. I've associated a minimum stock rule of 200 liters to this product. Therefore, from there we can run the scheduler for the reordering rules, and we will generate a purchase for the product. So we want to refill, in this case, 660 liters. So if you know Odoo, that is just standard. So you probably want to know now how this worked. I'll go back to the slide to give you an explanation on a nice drawing. So back to Valentin to explain the Proximus part of it.
Okay. So as you can see on the schema here, the connection is made from the device to Proximus Enco via the LoRa network. Don't know if a lot of you know this specific network for IoT. It sends small amount of data, but for long range. So perfect for this kind of case. Via our API sensor as a service, the module developed by BHC receive the exact data from this device. We also implemented the possibility to send an SMS when this under 20% is reached. But
so I got the message that the tank level is low. That's another feature that can be implemented.
Voilà. And for the rest, I give you back the mic.
And so I'll go into the part in purple. So you've seen this is our specific module that we've created that gathers the data from the sensor as a service API. And we've made it in a generic way so that the data that you collect goes into variables that can be reused in the automated actions of Odoo. So if you're familiar with Odoo, well, you probably know about automated actions. And those will allow you to apply an action on any other Odoo object. In this case, for the demo purpose, we've made an inventory update as an action. And so that allowed us to update our stock level, and then we had this minimum stock rule, which generated the procurement, which can then generate a delivery, a reception. So actually, all this is standard Odoo, and you could imagine doing many other types of automated actions. Just to show you for the ones who are familiar with it, this is the screen with the automated action. We have the trigger when the level goes down to 20%. The level is our variable that we have created from our module. And the action is a stock quant to update the stock quantity. So if you think about IoT in Odoo, there's actually a huge potential of different applications that you could think of. Today we've demonstrated how you could do real-time stock management, but you could also think of going further to do stock forecasting. Actually, one thing I wanted to show you also is that we can easily just see the trend of every time we have a new measure of the level of stock changing. So if you know that the level of stock is going down, down, down really fast, you can anticipate and even trigger a procurement, a refill earlier because you know that you will be running out of stock soon. So that's even going one step further and doing stock forecasting. You could also do parkings monitoring to determine if a parking spot is used. You can use smart meters to know the real-time consumption of electricity or gas. You could detect shocks or leaks. There are all sorts of sensors that exist that you can use. You could, using a GPS, you could track your parcels to know if your parcels are being delivered or if they're lost on the way. You could have, if you have people going on the field to do maintenance, to repair machines, you could have a push button that can be used to signal that, okay, my intervention is finished, and you can use that data in Odoo. We could use beacons for tracking people and evaluating the crowd at events. A very well-known application is the Amazon Dash button So Amazon launched this a couple years ago, which is a button specific to a type of product. When you push on it, you automatically reorder your product. So if I'm running out of laundry product, I just push on the button and a sales order is being generated. So from there on, it's just about brainstorming, and I think we could find a lot of other ideas of what you can do when you get the data from an IoT device into Odoo. So that was our talk, our food for thought. If you have any needs for integrating IoT in Odoo, so we have this partnership in place with Proximus. You can contact us, and we're very eager to actually do a real project with the technology that exists, with the network that exists. Everything is there, and it's just about doing it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe something I can show you also. It's not running properly because the network in the basement here is really bad. But we also developed an AR, augmented reality app that allows you to see data in real time via augmented reality. So a worker could go to the tank, grab the code from the tank and see in real time the data popping up out of it. So I can maybe show you like this. So you see, just tag the logo. For grab. Hein. Donc attends, je vais plutôt me mettre de l'autre côté. And this app will be available for all developers in the coming weeks. So you just go in front of the logo and you see the data popping out. So you see the last update is not good because the level is still at 4.1.9, but it's working. Yeah. Voilà. Other application going directly through the same API.
Feel free to come to our stand and play with that afterwards. So are there any questions about this? Yes.
Thank you for this inspiring talk. I have a question concerning the amount of data. Speaking of IoT applications and measurement data, there will be lots of increasing data over the coming years if you have IoT applications. So storing all that in the Odoo ORM, that could be at least challenging. So have you plans to migrate or patch the ORM of Odoo to make it store in a database like Prometheus or something like that?
Well, we haven't considered that aspect of things. I think one of the answers is that we share the burden of the storage of data between Proximus Enco and Odoo, because maybe you don't need to store all the data on Odoo, and parts of it can be handled at this level. But about the ORM question, maybe it's too technical for me. Maybe you could talk to our development team afterwards.
Basically, there is no need to update the ORM because all the data coming from the sensor, they don't have to be stored forever. The idea is to have a concentrated amount of data in the ERP, but not all data.
Yes.
So you have to archive some data.
Okay, but if you think of predictive maintenance, for instance, and artificial intelligence on the data, you're better off if you have all the data, historical data in your database, and be able to analyze that data in real time. So I think this is a scenario that is like 5 to 10 years ahead of us, or let's say 3 to be safe. But still, speaking of IoT applications, that's something that we have to at least
consider. Yeah, absolutely.
To talk about the Proximus story, we just transmit the data, and we are, of course, that's the beauty of being part of a big company like Proximus. We are relevant for a lot of security obligation, let's say. So for the part of the transmission, there is no worry to have. But yeah, to stock the data, then you need some security running. Yeah. Other questions? But I would like also to add that we have a booth with BHC. BHC has a booth and invited us there. So if you want to see the demo closer, or if you have a specific question for your business, don't hesitate to come by and we can have a discussion.